the surviving victim of a local serial killer. Cassandra, thank you for being here. I understand that you want to tell us what happened.
That's correct. I want everyone to know what he looks like, since I got a clear view of him.
Well then, can you tell us how it started? How did you meet him?
I met him online on a dating site. He looked interesting, so we started talking, getting to know each other. His way of talking was normal and nothing out of the ordinary.
And he asks you out, right? Where did you two meet up?
He asked if I'd like to meet up at a pub. Since it was very close to my house, I went by foot. But that was the biggest mistake I made.
I personally would have gone by foot as well, but carry on. Did you notice anything during the date?
Nothing. He seemed like a normal guy. A bit nervous, but isn't everyone nervous on the first date?
I think we could all agree on that. Shall we skip to the part where you were attacked?
Yes, of course. He offered to walk me home. It wasn't that far, but I had to go through woods. Well, that was the whole problem. The woods. We were still talking, but when we were about halfway through, he suddenly stopped talking and stood still. I was a bit weirded out, but I just shrugged it off. But once I looked ahead again, I felt a sharp pain in my upper right arm. My reflexes immediately made my left hand hold that spot. It was wet, and when I looked, it was red. He came at me with a knife, and at the last moment I jumped away from him. I started running as fast as I could, but he was obviously faster than me. He tackled me on the ground, holding my arms behind me. I was face first in the mud.
How did you escape him at this point?
I heard two people talking, coming our way. I didn't need to think twice about it and screamed at the top of my lungs for help. My attacker cursed and jumped up. Before he ran away, he told me one more thing. You won't escape next time, honey. Soon after, the people I heard ran up to me and together we called the police.
I am speechless. You were very lucky indeed. Now that you've told us your story, can you give us a description of the man, as best as you can remember?
Well, he was tall and slim, not too muscular. He had blonde hair and brown eyes, and at the date he wore neat clothes, but not too overdressed. In his profile he wore a variety of clothes. I don't really know how to describe the style, but it was very up to date with the current trends. Oh, and he also smoked.
Right, ladies and guys, just in case. Now that you know his description, I think it's safe to say that you should call the police if you ever encounter a man that suits that description of our killer. Now the long-awaited moment. Are you allowed to give us his name?
Yes, the police gave me permission to.
Well then, who is our unnamed serial killer?
Richard. Richard M. Hyde.